Hi everyone and welcome to NameHero.com. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to set up a managed cloud server specifically for affiliate marketers. So if you're an affiliate, you know that you need to have a lot of server power to host your landing pages, to host your click tracking software, to host your ad servers, or anything else that you need to promote a successful campaign. Now, if you've been in the industry for a long time or you're just getting started, you know it's very important that you have your own virtual private server or dedicated server. Shared hosting does not normally work that well for affiliate marketers because you need to have the power in case a media buy takes off. You need to have the power and the resources to do so. Here at NameHero, we have perfected affiliate web hosting, and we've made our managed servers very flexible, so regardless if your budget's very small and you're just getting started, we have a solution for you. If you're a very large affiliate, then we also have a solution for you. The cool thing about NameHero is all of our managed servers are in the cloud and they can be scaled on the fly, meaning you can start very small and then you can grow as your business grows. So I'm going to show you just how quick and easy it is to set this up, and if you have no technical experience, don't worry, it's very straightforward, and I'll try to move as slowly as possible. Feel free to pause this video though and follow along on your own. And of course, our entire team is at your disposal to help. Okay, so the first step is actually selecting and deploying your server. So I'm going to switch over now to the NameHero.com website. So as you can see right here, here's our managed cloud servers. So the first thing you need to select is, are you going to be in our United States data center or our European data center? The United States servers are in Lansing, Michigan, whereas the European servers are built out of Amsterdam, Netherlands. So the question that mainly determines this is, where's the majority of your traffic coming from? If you're promoting campaigns in the United States or in North America, then you want to choose the US server. If you're promoting the majority of campaigns in Europe internationally, then you want to choose the European data center. For this example, I'm just going to select the managed 4 gigabyte server here that starts at $49.95. So we're going to click deploy, and we're brought to the page where we can configure and set up the server. So the first thing that we ask is, what do you want to name your server? Your server's got to have a host name. So what I like to call it is normally just something like server. And we're just going to use the namehero.org name here. Now this should be a domain that you control. I recommend having this domain registered with us at NameHero. If it's not, you can register a new domain with us before you set up your server, and you're going to see why here shortly in the presentation. But you want to make sure that you do have just a good host name, something to remember, because this is what we're going to call your server and what it's going to be known as. Okay, so now we have to define our root password. So we want to try to make this as absolute strong as possible. So what I like to do is use a combination of letters, special characters, and caps and lowercase. So I'm just going to make mine very secure. And actually, if your password's not secure enough, it will not deploy. So it's important that you do that. Next is your name server prefixes. You can make these default, so I just like to type in NS1 and NS2. And this is just for your name servers, which we're going to talk about setting those up here shortly. Next is some additional options, how many dedicated IP addresses you need. Now remember, you can add any of this stuff later on, so just to get started, I'm just going to select 2, but if you needed more, you could do that here. Monthly bandwidth, 5 terabytes a month is going to be enough for almost everyone. If you need more than that, though, you can do it here, and you can always add later. The backup plan, I do recommend choosing a backup plan. I like to select daily. And then determine how big your server is, determines how many days of backups that you want to keep. I recommend at least only 1 day. These backups are held in our off-site data center, so if a catastrophe would happen, you could deploy your server back from one of these backups inside of our control panel. So it's very important that I do recommend ordering those. The next add-ons here is additional storage. What a lot of people do with this block storage is have other backups, or if they have a lot of video files or media files, they'll put them on this block storage. So if that's you want to go ahead and add that. You can do stuff like an SSL certificate. If you want to use secured protocols on your site, you could order it here and we can set it up. Lightspeed web server. This is also very popular amongst affiliate marketers because it's about 9 times faster than the default Apache configuration. So if you want the Lightspeed web server, it is a fee monthly, and that's a Lightspeed fee. fee, not a NameHero fee. They charge based on the number of CPU cores. So for a 2 CPU core license, it is $40 a month. So if you want to add that on, you would select it here. And the MariaDB, this is a drop-in replacement for MySQL. It's a one-time setup fee. Basically, you select it if you want it, and our technicians will set that up for you, and it's a little bit faster than traditional MySQL. If you have any questions on the add-ons, you can always ask, or you can add them on later after you see how your server is going to work. So the next step is continue. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video while I complete my payment, and then I'll get right back with you as the server deploys. After we complete our payment, we're shown our order number, and then we can proceed to the client area, which is where we can access our server. Okay, so this is the main NameHero.com control panel portal, and this is where you can manage all your servers, domains, tickets, invoices, anything else that you need at NameHero.com. So we're going to click on Cloud Web Hosting here, and we're going to see the server we just created is right here. So we're going to click on it. Okay, so from right here, we can manage our server. If we need to restart the server, if we need to stop the server, if we need to restore one of the backups, anything of that nature can be dealt with right here inside of the control panel. So let's just hop back into our presentation really quick, and let's go to step number 2, and that's setting up our private name servers. So this is the next step, and this is what connects all your websites to your server you just set up. And it's very simple. It doesn't take much time. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We're going to go over here to our control panel, and we're going to scroll down. And the first thing we're going to do is click Login Details. So you're going to have a username here and a password. This is the password. This is your root password. So you want to keep this very safe, very secure. Don't share it with anyone. So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to click on WHM, which is Web Host Manager. Okay, and you're going to get a security error here because we're accessing it from an IP address. We don't have a certificate set up, but it is your server, so it is safe. So we can go ahead and proceed. We're going to enter root and then the password. Okay, as soon as we get in Web Host Manager, you're going to see we have a license agreement. So you're going to want to read through that, print it out, or what have you, and go ahead and agree when you finish. These are just some featured applications in Web Host Manager. I always just leave them default and click Save. Most of them are there for a reason. If you don't want them, you can disable them, of course. Okay, so the next step is setting up these name servers. So we're going to go back over here to the basic setup, and we're going to scroll down. So you can see earlier we entered ns1 and ns2.namehero.org. So what we want to do now is we want to assign each one of these an IP address. So we're going to assign this IP address, and then we're going to add an A entry for this name server. So we're going to click Add the Entry. I like to pull up a TextPad document and just throw these in there for ns1. And I'll show you why here in a second. And we want to assign an IP address for NS2. Now, private name servers, you want to do this just because it looks more professional and it keeps all your stuff private and under your organization. So I definitely recommend setting this up the correct way. And it just takes a second. So we're going to put the second IP address here. Okay, so that is now finished. You also might want to make sure that your contact email address is here. So I'm just going to put contact@namehero.com for mine. And so you just want to put your email address there, just so if there's an important email that you get it about your server. Okay, so now we're going to switch back over here for a second into our NameHero control panel. Now, if your domain is not registered with us, then you'll have to go to your domain registrar to set this next step up. But if it is registered with us, then you can easily do it inside of here. So we're just going to go to My Domains. And you can register a new domain as well. If you don't have a domain with us here at NameHero, you can register one prior to setting up your server just to name the server and set these up. But this is how you set up your private name servers, and you have to do this on a domain registrar level. Okay, so you can see we have register a name server under private name servers. So we want to get that IP address we just set up, and we want to do ns1, save changes, and then we want to grab the IP for ns2 and save changes. So very simple and easy, and our private name servers are secured and set up ready to use. So the last step in implementing them is to actually go to your domain, and this is for any domain that you want on your server. You're going to do this for, and you're going to click on Name Servers, you're going to use custom, and here we can now use ns1.namehero.org and ns2.namehero.org, and we can change the name servers. Okay, so now any domain that you set up on your server, you change the name servers to that, and it's all set, secured, and connected. Okay, so let's jump back into our presentation now, and let's talk about what needs to happen next to set up our perfect server for our affiliate marketing. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is set up our first domain on the server. This could be for your landing pages, this could be for your tracking software, but that's the next step, is actually setting up a domain on your server. So for our example, we're going to go ahead and just set up NameHero.org. So let's go back over here to our web host manager. And there's a lot of stuff in here. You can control your entire server from Web Host Manager. And if you don't want to worry about all this stuff, we will do it for you. So if you get hung up on any step of the process, just let us know. So next thing we're going to do is go to create a new account. And this is how we add any domain to our server. So this one's just namehero.org. I like to call it something like this. And then we're going to give it a password. Use the generator. I always recommend using the password generator. And you can enter your contact email here. And then you can set up a package. So you can set up how much space and bandwidth you want to allocate via a package. I just select it manually since I'm doing this for my internal stuff. I just set everything to unlimited. Okay, the last thing I want to remind you, if you want to have a dedicated IP address for the site, this is where you would assign that. Most of the time you can keep them all on a shared IP, but if you want a dedicated IP on there, that's how you do it. And you're going to scroll down here, and I just leave everything else default. So normally automatically detect my mail configuration. Okay, and that's that. Now namehero.org is now connected to my server, and I would just go ahead and simply repeat this process for every one of my domains that I want to put on my server, or every one of my websites, to just go through and set them up like that. Okay, so heading back to our presentation here. After our first domain is set, the next thing you want to know is become familiar with cPanel. And many of you probably already are familiar with cPanel, but I'm going to show you just a quick walkthrough of it here on your managed server at NameHero. So after you create your account, you just go to List Accounts, and you can see namehero.org is right here. And you'll notice the cPanel icon is right beside the domain. We just simply click on it, and that's going to log us into that domain cPanel. Now, from inside of cPanel here, this is where you manage everything for that particular domain. If you want to access the file manager, it's right here. If you want to install stuff, everything is in here. If you want to set up your email accounts, anything you need to do is going to be inside here of cPanel. So if you're setting up this domain for your landing pages and you want to go ahead and upload your landing pages so they're available online, you would click File Manager. And then from in here, you would click on www, and this is the home directory. So anything namehero.org would go inside of here. So all I have to do is click on the upload button at the top here, and then select the files from my computer, and I can upload them. And that way my landing pages are online. If I have banners, I can put them online. Very simple, straightforward, and easy. There's no software for your computer, and everything can be handled right inside of cPanel, right inside of the file manager. Okay, continuing to move along here, after we're familiar with cPanel, the next big thing here that a lot of our customers like and request is one-click applications, one-click app installs. So the most popular one is WordPress. Now, we see a lot of affiliates like to use WordPress to power their affiliate sites, their landing pages, or even their agency websites for their companies. So when they're showing their traffic source information about them, they'll show them their agency site. So it just takes a really quick second to install WordPress. So just going back in here into cPanel, we can scroll down to the bottom, and you can see we have our apps installer. Okay, so the next thing is now we just need to make sure the license is activated. So at this point in time, you would just want to open a ticket with us and say, hey guys, can you make sure that you activate my license? Since it's a new server, it just hasn't provisioned yet. Now for a lot of you, it will automatically provision, but since we just did build it, we need to activate the license. So just give me one moment while I do so. Once your app installer license is activated, you have a screen that looks like this. And these are all applications or pieces of software rather that you can install with one click. So that means you don't have to upload anything, you don't have to be technical, but the most popular by far is being WordPress. So we're just going to click on the install icon. Now you can see we can very easily just start setting up WordPress in after answering a couple of quick questions. I like to do HTTP www. If you have a secure certificate, you can add the HTTPS, but you can always add it later. And then you select your domain. For this example, I've got the NameHero.com, so you can select that, or we go back and select the NameHero.org. Next is what directory do you want it in? So /WP would just be NameHero.com in this instance. /WP, that's where WordPress would go. And then here you would enter the name of your site or your landing page, whatever it may be. You would enter it here in the description. Next is probably the most important part of this whole installation process. You do not want to use admin as the username. I repeat, you do not want to use admin as username. Use something very hard here. So you want to just make up something. I just put alpha1. I like to use a number in there too. And then for the password, you obviously would not want to use pass either. You want to use the generator here. 9 out of 10 websites that get hacked is because they used admin and pass or admin and password as their credentials. Don't be that guy or gal, because that will bring you nothing but trouble. Finally, you want to make sure you enter your admin email in case you lose your password. And we scroll down here, and we've got all our options. We can there's a couple additional plugins here. I'm just going to ignore those for now. A couple additional options here. If you want automatic upgrades and stuff, you'd select it here. And if we wanted to do a custom theme, we could select it here. And then finally, we would just click install. And as soon as we do that, WordPress is now deploying, and you can see it was under a minute there, and it's installed. So you can see NameHero.com/WP is installed, and our admin area is right here. So it's really that quick and easy to install and set up WordPress. And we can click over to it, and it just takes a second for it to load, and we'll have our admin area here where we can begin building our WordPress website. Or we could even go to NameHero.com/WP, and we could see that WordPress has successfully installed. So it really is that quick and easy here, getting WordPress installed. And also there's numerous other applications here in the apps installer that you can use to manage your site. The second most popular one that we see a lot is the Revive ad server. This is a self-hosted ad server that a lot of people use to display and rotate through their banners. Another big one here is Prosper 202, which is a click tracking application for affiliate/performance marketers. So this may also be something that interests you. But our app installer here is just very popular because it takes out any and all of the guesswork. So that's going to pretty much conclude setting up your managed server and getting it going. There's one more thing that we will talk about before we turn off this video, but in under 15 minutes you can see we've selected our managed server, we've named it, we've added it, we've set it up, we've set up the name, we've set up our private name servers, we've set up a site, and the last thing is how to scale up. As I mentioned at the very beginning of this, all NameHero.com managed servers can easily be scaled up or down. Let's say that you set a media buy live and it gets a ton of traffic, or you add another placement and you get a lot of traffic and you need to add more disk space, or you need to add more RAM. Well, you can easily do that here inside of our control panel. You can, as you can see right here, is already all the information that you need. But if you want to go ahead and scale up, you would just you would do that inside of here. So the first thing you would want to do is you would want to go ahead and just raise a ticket and say, I want to scale up to the next one, and then we're going to send you an invoice automatically. Once that invoice is paid, the server will scale up on demand, and then this will automatically rebuild, and then you'll have your updated server. So it's very quick and easy, handled right inside of here. None of this changes. None of your data goes away. There is 2 brief periods of downtime though. One is when the server is resized, it's briefly stopped and then it's started again. And then at the end of the resize, it's restarted one more time. So you can expect 2 little instances of downtime. It takes only about 5 to 10 minutes for a complete resize. Now, if you are scaling down, the downtime might be a little bit longer than if you're scaling upwards. It's always very easy to add space and add RAM, but a little bit harder to take away, but it's still very possible. So again, we would just raise a ticket. We'd say, hey guys, I want to upgrade to the next level server because I've got a lot of traffic. At that point, you will get your invoice. As soon as the invoice is paid, then the server scales up, and then you're good to go from there. There's no data transfer, there's no backing up or anything like that. And then you immediately have those additional resources available to you. So that's going to pretty much do this tutorial. Feel free to reach out to our team if you have any questions on how to set up your server. As you can see, we've tried to make this as quick and easy as possible. It doesn't matter your experience. There's no coding. It's just clicking buttons on our screen here. So if you need anything else, feel free to let us know. And if not, thank you very much. We appreciate your business here at NameHero.com, and we greatly look forward to working with you.